Greetings, I'm Shad, and in this video I want to talk about a bit of a problem that we see in the Dune films. Now, it's hard to really nail down specifically because it's going to be of one extreme. Either there is a massive thing that they're not exploiting that would benefit them greatly, talk about the soldiers, or they are taking benefit of it, which means it's not functioning the way it should. Specifically, the types of weapons that they're using would not be up to snuff. This is a replica of the sandworm dagger that we see in Dune, provided to us by United Cutlery. So we will be looking at the design of the Dune dagger here, see if it is actually adequate to the tasks that they would want to use it for in the, lore of the world. But we also have some more serious ones, because this is actually not real. It's a type of resin, but it's an accurate film replica. But then we have some more serious weapons. This is the Honshu Legionary Dagger, and it's serious business. So when we go to test some stuff, well, we have something really, really good to put it up against, as well as kind of like a rough approximate to the type of swords the soldiers are wearing. So what problem am I talking about specifically? I've already done a video analysing the type of combat you would naturally fall into if you had shields like they are depicted in the Dune series. And I actually ended up kind of agreeing, like, shorter weapons makes a lot of sense for, well, if you want to know why, you can check out that original video. The thing about the shields is this, as they say in the series and films, a slow blade penetrates the shield. This raises an issue. If you could only penetrate the shield with a slow blade, can you kill them? Not necessarily. This is the thing that they should be exploiting. What about if they're actually wearing physical armor underneath the energy shield? One of the ways that you're able to punch through armor, well, let's just say attacking with a slow-moving blade doesn't really do the job. While we're discussing this problem with the combat in Dune, there's another question that I think is worth discussing, and that is the dagger really the best weapon to use against shields in Dune combat? I have kind of discussed this in a previous video, but I haven't heard what Nate or Tyrant's thoughts are. So we're going to be filming a dedicated video specifically for our supporters. If you want to hear the fun discussion, Nate's and Tyrant's thoughts, the back and forth of what they think the best weapon is in this type of combat, and my own responses, become a member here on YouTube or through Patreon, Subscribestar, or Player. We make dedicated videos for our supporters, and genuinely, everyone who is supporting us, thank you so much. Ad revenue is apocalyptically bad across the platform, and it's just been getting worse, and genuinely, it is only thanks to our supporters that we're able to keep going. And so thank you to everyone who is. And if you want to help ensure us to be able to make this content, please do support us, $1 to $5 a month, and then you get this awesome, fun, additional, exclusive content only for our supporters. So thank you to everyone who is, and check out that video if you're interested. All right, we actually just had that discussion on the best weapon to fight in Dune's energy shield combat, and we came up with a crazy answer, one that's horrifying, that would genuinely work. No, better than daggers. Oh wow. If you want to find out, check out the video. It would be effective. Shad from the future here. I've just come back from watching Dune Part 2. Let me just first say, brilliant. Really, really good film. Highly recommend it. Yeah, a lot of fun. Great sci-fi space opera epic. Really good film. But what we also see in the film is armor. Okay, so this kind of changes up the discussion a little bit, because I felt it was distinctly lacking in the last film, but this one, no. We see the Emperor soldiers, they are wearing some chunky armor, and granted there was armor in part 1, but here it's vastly more representative. Even the Fremen are wearing armor, okay? And so that then raises the important question, because yes, you should be wearing armor under the shields, because it should be able to stop conventionally effective weapons, even the Dune sandworm tooth dagger. So, well, we put that to the test. Because remember, you can punch through certain types of armor, all right? But could you do it if you had to move the blade slowly according to the lore? And that's exactly what we're testing here. So back to the video. Are the soldiers in the Dune series wearing physical armor underneath the clothing? It's hard to say. Doesn't really look like it. It looks like just military uniform, somewhat thick, perhaps cloth maybe jumpsuit type of material. But I hear people in the comments saying it's a sci-fi fantasy setting. They could make soft material out of some really advanced something and make it equivalent or better than chainmail. That's possible. But then we come into the other problem. If that is the case, are their weapons strong enough to get through that type of armor? It's going to be one or the other. Either they're not wearing armor, which is kind of dumb, okay, and then, yeah, a slow blade might be able to just slice and slowly stab someone, or they are wearing armor and their weapons aren't really up to snuff. We can check this by the properties of the sandworm tooth dagger that is used by the main character, because there's a bit more lore information. It is said it is sharper than anything around. Specifically, the sharpness is unparalleled. So it's very sharp. All right, we got that. Usually poisoned. I'm assuming then also very, very strong, but nothing is indicating that it has some type of energy, vibro blade, something property to make it be able to cut any better than a really, 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 really sharp knife. If that's the case, it's going to run into problems. We've talked a little bit about this on Shadowversity in the past about a super sharp knife. Would that get through strong armor? We've looked at like Wolverine's claws. No. No, not really. If it's armor, doesn't matter how sharp the blade is, it still can't wedge apart that steel. It'll kind of just get wedged in it. There are some other interesting properties about the design of the sandworm dagger. If you needed to push, and stab, right, and get through something resistant, this is where having a hilt on the knife would be really important. The design in the film doesn't actually have a hilt, which means if you're pushing really, really hard, or even like so hard, it's hard to kind of determine, because in the first film, when Duncan is fighting some people, I'm sorry, he is hitting people with a fast-moving blade and it's going through the shield. So I think that's just more of a filming error, because what would actually happen, right, when you're fighting and you're trying to, take on someone who has a shield, you would hit, you would stab, the shield would stop it, right? But then it seems like when they're paying more attention about the slow-moving blade part, moves through the shield, after it gets stopped, then you can slowly push it through. That's what would have to happen in most combat. Now, if you're really pushing hard, there is a chance you could slide your hand down. Hilts are useful. But other than that, for a type of combat dagger, this is actually a pretty solid design. It's very similar in terms of its girth and just stabbing-focused nature to a rondel dagger, just without the rondels. The rondels are the discards. And so there are some really cool things to like about this dagger. And by the way, if you're interested in having like a sandworm Dune dagger replica, we do have an affiliate link in the description below, made by United Cutlery. And look, it's actually really, really cool. It's just this cool looking, don't hit it against anything, but it's got a solid construction on it. And for demonstrative purposes, it works well. The primary thing that we want to test to see if this really is a problem is, can you stab through armor slowly, or even thick material? That's how they would need to do it in Dune. And that is taken into account even if they are wearing armor. If they're not wearing armor, that's just really dumb. I mean, it shouldn't take too much knowledge of combat that, okay, only slow-moving blades can pass through the shields. The easy answer to that is just wear some type of armor underneath the shield, and you're almost invulnerable then. But they are stabbing through people after they get through the shield, so I'm going to go on the side they're not wearing armor, but I can pretend it's sci-fi. Let's find out if a slow-moving blade can get through armor. And for that, let's bring in the guys. Nate, Tyranth! Oh. So, got a question for you guys.
Yes.
If you were in the Dune universe, okay, and like I already kind of discussed, I do think short swords, daggers, best options for fighting Dune shields. What type of dagger do you think would be best, or short sword, in this scenario? Do you think the sandworm dagger works?
I think it needs a guard. And the reason why is because generating that force at such a low pound, you need something to push up against.
That would help. That would help.
And I think having a little bit more handle for when you actually need those points of leverage to push in.
I reckon that's a good point. I think some short swords, but with a double-handed grip, if you really want. But that's the thing, generating force.
Oh no,
not in the strike.
I'm not talking about in the strike. I'm talking once you're at that point, being able to like grab and push with two hands, to make sure you got that extra point of leverage to get through the shield.
If you get into a point where you need leverage, yeah, having an extra handle would be really useful. What would you compare this one to? I said rondel, but maybe a bollock dagger?
It's probably a little long for a bollock dagger, not by much. Yeah, a dirk or a skirmish axe, a sax. Something around about that, but it's close enough to a lot of medieval analogies.
They say it has unparalleled sharpness. Now, this is
So
a...
it's katana.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Katana, yeah. Well, funnily enough, Duncan Idaho's sword has a katana wrap on it for some weird reason, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that sword design.
It's ridiculous.
Oddly enough, I like that sword design more, but that's like the most mole ninja sword we have at the moment.
It is.
At the moment, is that a challenge? We're going to go up in levels or down?
Just off topic, do you know why they keep making like these katana-based weapons in movies? They just always want to put a katana wrap on it.
Katana good.
How can we make it look sharp? Put a
But
wrap on it.
I think this is more similarity to European daggers than, you know, so...
I would say so. Something that I do like about that is that it is a solid the whole way through. The whole thing is a tooth, which means it has no tang. It really has no like break points. It is
That's true.
a solid piece.
The issue I have is with the cross-section on this.
Yeah.
For these type of blades at this length, cutting things with that, like I know it's not primarily for that, we can say that, sure, but when you say it's unparalleled
The unparalleled sharpness implies cutting.
Exactly, it does, yeah.
And it is really thick. This is a thick boy knife.
It could be talking about the sharpness of the tip.
I mean,
So I don't actually know
Just
when
the
they
tip?
say unparalleled.
Just the
tip. When they say unparalleled sharpness, it's being very generic. But a lot of the attacks are.
yeah. And look, I mean, having a thick blade on stab-focused daggers, yeah, look at the rondel. Sometimes they didn't even have an edge. It's just, this is supposed to have an edge
Sometimes
as
they
well.
had three sides.
But the issue about its thickness, right, that's going to make it more difficult to like cut through resistant material, especially when you're getting to something that's equivalent to hard plastic or even metal. That, like, the thicker it is, the easier it's going to get wedged into that material, regardless how sharp it is.
Okay, so what do you want to do with Boromir and the Garrison?
All right, so we're going to test with these two swordy, knifey, dagger things. Now, both actually come from United Cutlery. They're affiliate link. You can find these below. That one's really affordable. It's you know, it's a functional mole ninja type of sword, but I like it. I got it because I like it. This is a beast. We've already tested this against Gambison.
Yes.
It was the only thing, but it
There's
blasted through.
caveats with it,
There's
but
caveats
yes,
with everything.
yeah.
In general,
this is a cool knife.
yeah, it's got a nice
knife.
glass breaker on the back. It's got a good guard. It's solid. It was very sharp.
For thrusting
cuts.
specifically, this thing
This
is terrifying.
Shockingly effective. I was
I don't like
dubious
the- I don't
about
like
the
the
thing.
circle in the hand.
I've come around to it. It doesn't bother.
It's
We've,
fine,
we've
yeah.
used it enough that it actually kind of just rests in the palm. And I thought it would. Nah, this is fine. I've come around. And this is one of my favorite knives now.
All right, so what are we going to do? Like a 1-inch thrust?
No, I don't think you can do. I think we need from there pushing.
But usually it's like going through the shield very slow from here, and then they kind of, you know, just
We'll try
massage
both.
it
Do
in.
you have to add the noise?
We'll try both. We can't test with this. This is just a wall hanger, you know, prop. It is really cool though. So if you do want the replica, that's available as well. But if you want something serious,
All right, which one do you want to start with?
okay, I think start with the Mall Ninja, Ninjato, because this is gonna have. Look at how cute the tip is here. I think this has a good chance to get through. But the thing is,
Cute. Well, either of those tips are cute.
this is.
I thought he said cute.
This is not armor grade Gambison. This is just thick clothing.
Yes.
But it will determine if it can get through thick clothing. Then we're going to up the game and bring in some
is
riveted mail.
So's this, Nate. So's this right here, you know?
Yeah, that's actually true.
Those are too thin. Armor grade is like
this is actually armor grade.
30 layers.
No, it depends on what it's for. This is actually armor grade. These
Okay, well. All right. You gotta go first.
I will go first. Okay. And since I can't use speed and power, I will just use power today. Starting touching, one-handed. That's all technique, baby. That was.
Yeah. Try and do it slower.
That I was touching. I can't.
Just push. You were trying to do the 1-inch punch thing.
And I did.
Just throw it, just slowly.
Oh, I'm untrained. I don't know how to use this. Oh no. Yeah, it doesn't go through.
So you need to put some.
Of course, you need to put some. But you can do that from.
You can. So the I guess theory would be you feel it get through the shield and you're like. "Ah!"
Pretty much, yeah.
But there is also another option. An ice pick down, which actually happens in a lot of knife fighting. A lot of people try to do the ice pick, and knife fighting is a thing.
They don't really hold
That way he's not going to lean back. You have gravity holding him in place.
Okay, I'll give it a go. I think it went through just the tip.
Just the tip?
Just the tip. But that's about it.
It's funny, like this isn't, oh look, it's coming it's a bit loose. Okay, so the wrap isn't great on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon you could, but the steel, I would rewrap this with something.
Yes, I would rewrap it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is somewhat more analogous to the soldier swords, like what we see Duncan using, where in terms of, it's got a sharp kind of angle.
It has the same blade shape, but it's a lot bigger, a lot.
It's
It
not
has
as
similar
thick.
blade shape
Yes.
because the blades they use are like reverse machetes. The weight is back here.
It's a weird. I like this design more than the soldier swords. But okay, so this is not an optimized tip.
No.
And I think if the focus of the combat is slow blades, thrusting, you wouldn't have this. Like the soldiers would not have a design like this. You would go for a tip like this.
Yeah. And that is more like the sandworm tooth in terms of, relatively speaking, the shape. So you want to give that.
Actually, the sandworm tooth is a leaf blade, kind of. It's curled forward ever so slightly. But
That's right. Yeah. All right, let's see how easy it is to get through. Yeah. Yeah. Slow blade, pointiness. Yeah. Definitely can do it. And like if you were bracing and you're there and you're just trying to push, oh boy.
Hang on. Do your 1-inch punch.
You don't need to.
Thing.
And I can do it. Watch this.
Okay. It was similar.
Similar. I just want to very quickly go. Okay, that's not bad, Chad. That's not bad.
I wasn't even trying. I could go deeper.
Oh, you can go deeper?
Yeah, way deeper.
I half think it's just because this gambeson is not made for this. That much deeper?
You're trying too hard.
I didn't even try that much.
Oh, yeah, I could see it. You were straining. Look how serious he was. He had to brace himself and everything. Okay, so, did you just want to see how easy it is, Nate? Nate fails.
Well, he's leaning. Also, he's going that way. He's leaning against. Move. He was already leaning in that direction compared to. Yeah, that's.
You were leaning into it quite a
All
lot.
right, but this is just a gambeson, though.
Yes,
This is just
yes.
fabric. We have something else that is...
And this is really going to raise the issue, because if the soldiers had any brains at all, they understood basic melee combat.
They wouldn't wear basic cloth.
They would wear
we can't
armor.
wear shields, because if we wear our shields, the sandworms are going to pop out and get us. We can't use our las pistols. We're going to get into melee. What is good against melee?
In the wiki for something like the Sajika, right? They just say they wear a uniform and a helmet. It doesn't actually say what they're wearing, but I would assume, because I have a brain in my head, is that they have some sort of high-tech gambeson, like some sort of
advanced material.
Yeah,
but
ballistic
then
material,
that's
Kevlar.
Then we go to the other problem. There is no indication that I could read that their weapons were advanced enough to get through armor.
I know, they just seem like normal.
They seem like normal sharp swords.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, we'll get to the next armor.
Yes.
What are we doing next, Chad?
Well, we got to go.
We're going
medieval.
straight to the chainmail, right? And look, this has gotten through chainmail before, okay?
But with a, yeah, okay. With
But
a 1 inch, though.
Let's see if we can do it with either pushing or the 1 inch.
The 1 inch.
The 1 inch.
The 1 inch
stab.
thrust. All right, we got the mail. We got this more ninja sword. I'm gonna do my what should we call it when it's touching, 1 inch punch, whatever. And I'm gonna use maximum power. I'm gonna actually try and get through. So this will be so quick. You gotta watch. I can't tell if I hit something or like.
Let's be very.
It sounded solid, but I don't know if that was just
Nah, didn't get through.
Because to pop these links, you need a lot of force, and I feel like
That's my
your
point.
strong has a level.
Well, no,
Your strong has a level.
this is my point. If you can only get through the energy shield with a slow-moving blade, there's nearly no chance you'd get through.
You'll get
something like-
bruised.
Yeah.
You'll probably get bruised.
Can I try with the other knife? You say there's a limit.
I want to try first.
You can try first because you won't get through.
Bear in mind, this is actually decent quality riveted chainmail, so it's not the weak butted stuff. This is what you want. But so first, just gonna try and do the whole pushing thing. Not a chance. Like even if you're bracing and you're just like, "Argh," it would hurt. Gosh, especially like something this pointy. You would actually feel that. But all right, so if I was there, just. I mean, I didn't bust any links.
It's my turn now. My turn. My turn.
Do you think you're going to get through?
I don't know, but you only got this far, so I just need to beat that, and I'm happy for the day.
It's not going to do it.
Let's see. That is not my. That's not my fault. He fell over.
No deeper than me.
I feel like that was a little bit deeper. Can I try a 1-inch one?
Yeah.
1 inch?
Or 1 inch?
Like, I don't think that's how it works.
Are you sure?
It needs to be slow to get through the shield.
But I don't feel like they're doing it just as it touches, then they go like that. I feel like they're going through the shield, then they
I
go
know
for
in
it.
like Duncan's fight, it's just going stabbing people as going through, but that's not how it's supposed to work. That's a mistake of choreography.
Can we try 1 inch? Let's all try 1 inch. That's
3.
about an inch, right?
What are you
That's an
talking
inch.
about? That's 3 inch.
I'm using woman measurements.
Oh, 3 inch punch now.
All right, that's about an inch.
First, you didn't get through, but we've got this on camera. It's like, let's do a 1 inch.
Also, I'd like to know, because I was holding the force, I felt that, and Tyrant, yes, you are strong, but you also did the whole, I'm just going to keep pushing and trying to get it through.
All right, you can brace it, and Nate, because you're such a finely attuned, pressure sensitive person.
You calling me sensitive?
This is scientific, yeah.
Scientific.
You're calling me sensitive.
I'm just saying, you can tell
So what I
us.
need to do is feel how strong you are
Yeah,
through the wood.
yes, yeah, exactly.
So I'm testing
Specifically
your wood,
through, yeah,
and
specifically.
I'm testing his wood.
That's right. And you're going to tell us who's got the stronger thrust.
Through wood.
Yes. And specifically, a 1 inch thrust, which I have lots of experience in. Oh, come on! I thought you were on my side, Nate!
If you're correct, I am. You're not this time, sorry.
My ears perked up from all the way over there. What's going on?
Shed one.
Oh, okay, great, fantastic. Anyways,
So something that I want to point out, and I know that you said that, smart soldiers would wear armor. That is absolutely true. If you were fighting a soldier who was wearing armor, and you just so happened to be the one with the knife, and the slow blade was the only thing that could get through, you would do what medieval combatants did, and find the holes in the armor. Now this one's something that we actually prepared earlier, legitimately, we did this in a previous video, but you would find the gaps in the armor, which means the combat would get really interesting.
You would go for the neck. They're like, technically this shouldn't have a gap there. This is like a full...
This particular gap, correct, shouldn't be there, but there were gaps. There were gaps, usually in the joints. Wherever the joints are is usually where the gaps were.
It would change up combat, but...
A lot. Because
again,
in those clinches, when you're up against the shield, that's when the tip would start moving into those points.
if we do acknowledge the sci-fi setting that should have advanced materials, their like basic cloth should be stronger than chainmail.
and there really wouldn't be any gaps.
There wouldn't be gaps then, that's my point. And so
They have helmets.
I think we've kind of...
I can't remember.
It's a catch-22. We've kind of confirmed it. Like either they should be wearing armor, they have the technology to. You would not get through. You'd not get through.
This is the problem, is like you have to move at a certain speed. We know this to get through the shields in Dune. That's how they work. That's why they have to use the knives or swords or whatever it may be. I'm with you on all of this. The problem is, once you get through that shield, you only have this much space to actually get through an armored combatant, which is
not a lot of force generation, and you need force to bust through armor.
And being sharp, being unparalleled sharpness, which is cool and all, but it's not magic. It's not like a vibro blade or a lightsaber.
The answer, okay, and maybe people use this as their headcanon, but I personally think the audience should not have to fill in plot holes to make a story or events make sense, right? Could be that they're super magic, energy, vibro, some type of thing that does something to cut through anything.
I just don't accept it, and the reason why is because we already have things like gambesons now, which aren't even space age material, and they can stop blades. Something like this will probably get through because it's a monster, but
a lot of times stabs will get through cloth armor anyway, and stabs will find the holes in armor regardless of what it is.
yes,
So,
but this thing can take things like slashes and whatnot, and when you have unparalleled sharpness, it tells me that it at least is used for some slashing capabilities.
Okay. Unparalleled sharpness. What if we say, all right, it's referring to the tip. The tip is like, I don't know, an atom thick. Let's pretend that their cloth is an advanced type of super Kevlar, right?
but don't know.
Could a tip that big? No, you know why?
We're actually adding headcanon.
I know. I'm being too charitable. I'm trying to be. This is the most charitable interpretation. You know why this still wouldn't get through? Okay. I'm trying to.
Do you know?
Well, I'm
feel
thinking,
like-
and then I think of something else.
I feel like, we've made jokes about like the tip, the whole thing, but I feel like, according to canon, it kind of would make sense. If you can get just the tip
Just the tip.
past, it would work because it's meant to be poisonous.
Okay. If it's a molecule thick, right, it would get in between the super strong fibers because it's so thin. Okay, and then the question is, if it's so sharp on the edges, even at the very, very tip, could it shear apart those super strong fibers, even if they're super magic, space age, science fiction material? And then if it's actually cutting into it, there's a chance.
So here's the big wrench, not even a wrench, my bomb that I'm going to throw into the works, is that not all of them who fight and get through shields are using the sandworm dagger. They are using
Normal daggers.
more just steel weapons. So all of that goes out the window. When
I know. And there was nothing that maybe Masters of Lore, they find a obscure reference. We went to the wiki, which should be reliable, but I guess maybe not always. There was no information on the soldier swords. These seemed like regular swords. Let us know what you guys think. Is there an answer to this issue, or is it just, it's there? And it's a bit of an example of just when you're world building, you got to pay attention to these things.
I feel like it's just easy. If you have an opponent with a shield, take them out into the desert, sandworm will get them. Shields chuck sandworms. Done.
The energy shields.
Don't even have to, don't even have to fight them.
I mean, look, there are fight scenes where they're not using the shields at all, and then it's a fair game. Yeah, of course. But we're not referring to those. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you are interested in these pretty cool United Cutlery, weapons, that one's awesome. This is a great replica. Link in the description below. Thank you for watching. If you want to see a video where I break down the logic of fighting an energy shield, just in type of the weapons you want to use and style of combat, there's that video over there that I made when the first Dune movie came out. And I'm looking forward to seeing the second one. I mean, the second movie's probably already out when this video comes out, filming before. I'm interested to see on the fighting.
I haven't seen that video.
Do you reckon they might answer this issue?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm concerned.
I'm gonna
I'm concerned about it.
Try that.